So when we made videos talking about the slippery slope, a lot of people use that term. And I know it gets passed around a lot online, but the slippery slope is a real thing. And we are seeing effects from that slippery slope as time goes on. And it's here. It is here. It's been here. We are living in the ultimate clown world. And it's only going to get worse as people become more complacent with allowing this absolute nonsense to exist everywhere that it currently is. Now, we are talking about J.K. Rowling. So J.K. Rowling, we've spoken about a lot, okay? As you guys are aware, maybe you're not if you're a new subscriber, I'm an avid Harry Potter fan. I streamed Hogwarts Legacy literally just to own the idiots who were complaining about the game being transphobic, even though it was anything but. But even if they weren't complaining, I would have played the game regardless, and I definitely would have streamed it because I love that game, and I love this. I love the IP. I love Harry Potter, unfortunately. I do. I have no shame admitting that, but with that being said, J.K. Rowling is an avid feminist. She's a feminist all the way to the point where she is actively defending biological women, where other women are seemingly okay with their own erasure. We talk about this all the time. J.K. Rowling is being canceled for being a TERF, canceled for being transphobic, canceled for being everything, all because she believes that biological men should not be in the same space as biological women in terms of safety, such as like bathrooms and locker rooms, stuff like that. So all the men in dresses are obviously angry at that, and all biological women who are seemingly constantly wanting to vote progressive because they are empathetic creatures that don't want to, upset anybody, they definitely are advocating for their own erasure, and she's not having it. So now we have another interview where she has recently come out and said something that has pissed off the entire internet. It says J.K. Rowling from Bounding Into Comics responds to UK Labour Party's reported plans to make deliberate misgendering a criminal offense. I'll happily do 2 years if the alternative is compelled speech. So let's get into this article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. It says, in light of a new report that the UK's Labour political party may be looking to outlaw the deliberate misgendering of transgender individuals, Harry Potter scribe J.K. Rowling has declared that she would rather do prison time than engage in compelled speech. I agree 100%. I agree 1,000,000% with that notion. I've said this all the time, literally. And you know what's funny? I don't just say this to the left. I also say it to the right, because unfortunately what happens is you have a lot of people on the right who supposedly talk about free speech. They love free speech so much, but God forbid you say something about religion, and a lot of them lose their mind and they start trying to compel your speech and saying what you can and cannot say. You got people complaining that I curse too much. You got people complaining that I take God's name in vain. You got people trying to compel my speech on that side of the aisle, and yet in the same breath want to talk about freedom of speech. I'm not for that, okay? I make jokes about everything. I talk about everything. I've said this time and time again. I've had people unsubscribe from my channel because I talked about something that they didn't like one time. And that's all it took, was me talking about it one time. The same people who claim to be about free speech, I said it one time and they lose their mind and they leave me this long ass paragraph talking about how they're unsubscribing and they're never coming back. So again, it's not just the left, it's the right that does it too. But compelled speech is compelled speech, and I have a problem with it, period. It doesn't matter which side are you on. So then it says, this supposedly desired change to the legal code of the island nation was first detailed to the public by UK news outlet The Daily Mail, who on October 14th was able to reveal to their readers that deliberately calling someone by the wrong gender pronouns could become a hate crime, punishable by imprisonment under a Labour government. This is the slippery slope, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when you get complacent too much and you let things go too far. The UK is completely screwed. Vowing to toughen up the sentencing guidelines for abuse and violence targeted at trans people, Labour would make attacks motivated by hatred of victims' gender identity into aggravated offenses, explained the outlet's Martin Beckford. This would bring transphobic abuse into line with assault and harassment motivated by hatred on the grounds of race or religion, which are punishable by up to 2 years in prison. It's amazing that they want to protect men in dresses so bad that they're willing to literally not protect women in order to protect those men in dresses, which is just crazy to me, because those men in dresses have no fear against the women that they are trying to invade their space. They have absolutely no fear, and they want to be in those space for many different reasons. Obviously, a lot of them are based in deviation, but still, they want to be in those spaces. It says critics warn that the policy could therefore mean jail sentences for someone refusing to use a transgender person's preferred pronouns or referring to them by their former name or their birth sex rather than their chosen gender, he added. That's absolute nonsense, man. It really is, because these people change their minds about pronouns literally every day. You have people on TikTok talking about how they just change their pronouns based on how they feel every day. So what happens if these trans people end up recording you calling them one pronoun that they actually wanted to be called that day, and then 2 days later they change their pronouns and say you're a bigot because you called them that 2 days ago? I mean, it could happen. This is a slippery slope that has no end the longer you continue to fall down. Like, you're not stopping it at all, and people are just so complacent. According to fellow UK news channel GBN, the Labour Party made clear their intentions to criminalise the act of misgendering during their 2023 party conference, as recently held in Liverpool from October 8th to the October 11th. The Conservatives are failing to protect LGBTQ+ people with their inability to get a handle on hate crime, including violent hate crime, reportedly asserted Shadow Women Equality Secretary Annalise Dodds. Labour will strengthen the law to ensure the perpetrators of anti-LGBTQ hate can no longer dodge longer sentences, she continued, and our fully funded plan to recruit 13,000 more neighborhood police and community support officers would increase safety for everyone. Oh, that's it. They're going to start hiring police officers that are specifically there to go after hate crimes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have hate crime police walking up and down the streets where literally anyone can say, hey, this person did a hate crime, and that's it. You're done. They don't have to have any proof because the entire crime is based in feelings. The entire crime is not even based in factual information. It is literally an emotionally based crime, and because someone feels a certain way, that's all it takes for it to be a crime. It's ridiculous, man. Again, this is a slippery slope that is going way too far, and it's in the UK now, but I guarantee you they want to make this a thing here in the States. It says Rowling would offer her thoughts on the matter amidst a brief October 17th discussion with a fan held via her personal Twitter account. The conversation began when Rowling, seemingly apropos of nothing in particular, shared a 2018 image of the words "repeat after me, trans women are women" being projected on the office walls of the UK's Ministry of Justice, and simply replied no, ostensibly making mocking reference to the Daily Mail's above report. Fellow Twitter user Music by Scott then jokingly replied to the author, "Vote Labour, get a 2-year stretch." In turn, Rowling declared, "I'll happily do 2 years if the alternative is compelled speech, enforced denial of the reality and the importance of sex. Bring on the court case, I say," she further asserted. "It'll be more fun than I've ever had on a red carpet." So, of course, J.K. Rowling completely destroys people on Twitter. You know, we've seen this time and time again. This is nothing new. This woman literally will completely destroy anybody who tries to go after her on Twitter. We've seen it happen over and over and over again. And you know what? I'm glad that there's people like her that are standing up against this nonsense. But again, I say this all the time about J.K. Rowling. Don't get it twisted. J.K. Rowling is, for the most part, maybe up until recently, she was a hardcore progressive, 100%. The funny thing is, these trans people, if they would just respect women's spaces, they would probably have her as a quote-unquote ally throughout everything else that they have a problem with. But no. They need total domination. They need total control. They need you to bend the knee. And if you don't bend the knee even once, then you are the problem, and they're going to come after you. So they're literally going after someone that has, up until now, been a hardcore progressive, the likes of which would be any LGBTQ person's ultimate ally, and they turned their back on her. So of course she's going to fight back because she's not going to back down. So time will tell whether or not this thing in the UK actually becomes a real thing, but I guarantee you, if it does become a thing in the UK, it's only a matter of time before they try to bring it here. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.